Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Corey Munson. I am Vice President here at PC Matic. I'm joined by my teammate, Jeff York. Jeff leads up our support team, and we're here today to talk about PC Matic VPN, virtual private networks, why you need a VPN, how it's different from antivirus and how it complements antivirus. And if you happen to already have the VPN and need some insight on how to get it set up and configure it to for it to be most effective, we're prepared to go through some of those frequently asked questions and go over some best practices with you over the next 45 minutes or so. We're going to allow for about 10 to 15 minutes at the end for questions. We like to do these events live because we want these to be as interactive as possible so we can knock out and have a dialogue with you around concerns you may have or questions you may have around VPN. So what I'd ask you to do at this point is to look at your GoToWebinar console, and you'll find a little icon with a question mark. If you click on that, that's going to give you the ability to submit a comment or a question that Jeff and I will have visibility to over the course of this session. So if you want to test it out now and just take the opportunity to let us know where you're logging in from, what the weather is, whatever, just to test it so you know how to reach us as we go through the presentation and you have a particular question you would like to have answered. Now, today, if we don't get to one of your questions, you can be assured that what we'll do as part of our follow-up in the next 24 hours or so is we'll reach out to you, get you connected to a technical support representative who will either address that question for you through an email, or we've got any number of options there to help you out. And you'll have that opportunity at the end of the session with a survey that pops up. It's a short 2-question survey. It'll give you the option to indicate you would like to have a question answered, you would like more information about something we discussed. We're going to talk about VPN. If you haven't purchased VPN, that'll give you that opportunity. We're also going to talk about some elevated support options we have as well, if you'd like more information on that. Again, this survey gives you the opportunity to lay out exactly how we can best help you. So we just ask you to fill that out, and then we can do our follow-up with you within the next 24 hours or so. Finally, a word of note about these emails that you're going to see as part of the follow-up. Any number of companies like ours are struggling right now with spam related issues with some of our communications to our customers getting caught in spam filters. So if you're expecting to see something from us, even if it's a communication at some point in the future from our support team, and you don't see it come through, check your spam filter. It might be stuck in there. But that's just a word of caution if you think for some reason the communication back from us isn't happening. So at this point, what I'm going to do is go ahead and turn things over to Jeff. He's going to walk you through a brief presentation about VPN. And again, we really created this presentation around some of the more common questions that Jeff and his team sees on a daily basis from people that are either considering VPN or have purchased VPN and want to understand how to set it up and get it configured correctly. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Jeff. I'll be back with you at the end as we moderate some questions and get you some answers.
Yeah, thanks, Corey. Yeah, so as he said, I am Jeff York. I'm Director of Technical Support. So you may have spoken with me at some point. So I will be just going briefly over the VPN, exactly what a VPN is, what it can do for you, why you would need it. Because I know there is a little bit of confusion with a lot of people. One of the most common questions being, well, I have an antivirus, so why the need for a VPN? So hopefully I'll be able to dispel some of that questions and make things a little bit more clear for you. All right. So first we'll start with what is a VPN. So VPN is a virtual private network. It essentially secures your connection between your home computer and or wherever you are connecting the internet from. It secures a connection between that device and whatever website you are going to. And why is the secure connection? It's not protecting you from viruses and things. It's protecting you from people getting your information. And as we will cover a little bit more as we go along in this presentation, information is becoming a very vital source that these criminals are using against you to used on several different types of attacks, especially some of the more prevalent attacks that are out today. This is just a quick diagram of exactly what is happening to your connection when you are using a VPN. So as you can see at the very beginning, it starts with your device, and then it goes into the VPN client, which is the actual VPN program on your computer. And then from that, it goes into your own router. And then from your router, it goes to a server hosted by the VPN. And that's where a lot of the information gets scrambled up. And then it goes to the World Wide Web or whichever website you're seeing. So after it leaves the VPN server and your information has been encrypted, scrambled, protected, then it goes to the World Wide Web. So the only thing the website is seeing is what the VPN server is allowing them to see. So that's sort of exactly what happens during the process. So why use a VPN? Just as a brief uh, overview of obviously the security aspect of it, and I'll go over that in more detail in the next couple slides. But privacy definitely hides your IP address and makes it harder to track your online activities from some of these websites. You can access geographically based content and avoid certain censorships based on region. Um, so here's why to use a VPN, a more detailed breakdown, a sort of a nice analogy. So you, without using a VPN, it's sort of like just sending a letter, regular mail. You write a letter to somebody and you send that letter from your home mailbox. So that means anybody can come along and look and see what's in. They can open the letter. They know where the letter has come from. They can know the content of the letter. It's not very difficult or challenging to determine exactly what this letter is, why it's going there, what's in there, and get information about you and the receiver of the letter. When you're using a VPN, it's sort of like putting a letter in an unmarked lockbox and then dropping it off at a post office. So whoever is delivering this to the destination, the only thing they know is where this drop box is supposed to go. They don't know who sent it, why they sent it. They don't know what they are sending. Everything is completely protected from all outside eyes. So it's completely 100% need to know on what is the inside of this letter. Here's another thing why use a VPN. This is a cool little tool that we actually have on our website. It is pcmatic.com. What is my IP? Um, Whenever you have a VPN, you can actually connect to the site and it will tell you that you are in a different country. Like, for instance, I am in North Carolina. I can 100% assuredly tell you so. However, when I took this screenshot just now, it says that I am in Honduras, and I can promise you that I am not. Even though the connection might seem like I'm in Honduras, I am definitely North Carolina. So whenever you are turning the VPN on, it is masking your IP address, it's masking the internet provider, and your location. Without it, they could tell you where your IP address is. And for those of you who don't know what an IP address is, it's essentially a physical address used on the internet. So the IP address can pinpoint you right down to your house. So with that IP address, they'll know where you're at. The internet service provider. So if you're using HughesNet or Comcast or whatever, it would know right here based on just the cookies that come from your device whenever you connect to a different site. We'll also know the exact location based on your IP address, from where you're connecting. So those three pieces of information right there are enough for a scammer to do something with. So that's just sort of a little tool that shows you exactly how well a VPN does to protect you against certain things like that. So the biggest reason for why do you need a VPN, and I mentioned that I would go over the security aspect of it. You have PCmatic on your computer, and that is protecting you from any virus, any malicious software, anything that's going to run on your device and try to steal your information or infect your computer or cause, basically, hurt your hard drive or basically cause you to have to get a new device. Anything that is running or downloaded to your computer is protected by an antivirus. However, if your information is stored on your computer, it will not allow an executable to run that is designed to steal that information. But if you are going to a different website, all that information is up for grabs. So each time you go to a website, it creates a cookie based on your user information, So it says, okay, this person, it lives here, they have this internet provider. Before they came to this website, they were searching on these two sites. They were looking for this information. Looks like they're looking for a specific type of sock, so whatever it may be. Um, all of this is exchanged to that website, and they know a lot about you immediately. That's not to say that all websites are selling that information. Typically, they just grab that information and utilize it for whatever their marketing purposes are. However, if there's a data breach and an outside actor goes into that website and steals all the browser cookies, well, now all of that information that was gathered from your shopping trip is now going to be sent on the dark web and sold to the highest bidder. And so, without getting too far ahead of ourselves, social engineering is the act of uh, uh, a threat actor tricking you into giving information. So because of the antiviruses, because of security, you're not going there. A lot of these threat actors have given up on trying to just brute force attack a computer, or just trying to get through to your device in the regular ways. So what they're trying to do now is trick you into just giving the information. They're basically trying to trick you into giving them the keys to the front door, essentially. And that's called social engineering. According to Know4, which is a security company that does an excellent job of training people on cybersecurity and how to stay safe, and the Accenture security reports, phishing and pretexting have accounted for between 70 and 93% of all residential and business level data breaches. So the pretexting is essentially where, sort of like CEO fraud or something like that, where they create this uh, sort of a situation of some sort that is asking you for something specific. So, and it's taking the information that is gained from these tracking cookies. So it could say something like, "Hey, we noticed that you were looking at these at you placed an order for these socks on this website." Even though you didn't place an order for those socks on the website, it's telling you, well, that order failed, and we need you to verify some information. So now in your head, you're thinking to yourself, well, wait a minute, I didn't do that. And this is just information they've gathered from the cookie, and they're using that to trick you. And they're telling you, hey, enter your information right here so we can confirm that this was you. Now you're sitting there entering all your information, and now they have it. You've given it to them. There was no virus. There was no malware. There was nothing. There was no redirect, adware, nothing. It was just they tricked you into giving you their information. That is social engineering. Phishing uses is sort of the same thing, but it uses an email to try to cause you to give them information, or to click a link, and you have to basically bypass your security. So it'll say, hey, like sort of like a macro. I don't know if any of you use the Office programs. If you've ever opened up and say an attachment, a Word attachment, says, well, you can't read this unless you download this macro. And then you try to download the macro, and the antivirus is saying, don't do it. So you're saying, well, I need to look at this. So you override your antivirus to allow the macro. Well, what you've done is just overrid your antivirus and allowed the virus to run on your device unchecked. So essentially, social engineering is just their way of tricking you to giving them the keys to the front door, as opposed to just trying to sneak in, or bust in, with a brute force attack. And this is the method that they're using, which is why VPN is so important. So that's not to say you don't need an antivirus anymore. You will definitely do, because you can't do anything any. They're going to still try those old methods, but they're not going to put as much effort into it. So they're trying to get you from all angles. So if your computer's not protected, they're going to get you there. If your computer's protected, but you're giving out all your information on the internet, well, now they're going to be able to put together enough info to get some sort of a social engineering trap on you, which is why VPNs are very, very important when browsing online. Another practical use that everybody can understand is when you're holiday shopping. Holiday shopping with a VPN is going to save you a lot of headache. I know many of you dread, any of you who does a lot of shopping online, sort of dreads this process, because here comes the scam emails and the fake texts where they say, oh, your order didn't go through, or this is USPS, where your package is over here. We have it. Just please give us your social, and we'll send somebody else back out there to redeliver the package. There's any number of scams like this. However, using a VPN, they have no idea who you are, what you're looking for. They don't know where to send. They don't know where to apply the information that they got from their shopping system. They have no idea who was doing the shopping, so they don't know who to target with their social engineering traps. So during the holiday season, having a VPN is during that holiday shopping is almost a must-have now. So how to use the VPN? This is the secondary part. Um, we hear, why do I need it, and how do we use it? So you get the program, you install it, and now you're wanting to know exactly what you have to do to get started. The first thing, obviously, you would install, and you would allow all changes to be made during the installation process. And then you're going to log in to activate the program that you bought. If you're an existing PC Matic customer, you're obviously going to use the same exact email password that you've been using for all your other PC Matic products, and that will activate your paid for license on your computer. Once you have it, so now that you have it installed, you will go ahead and if you need any support, you have the basic support with PCmatic, which is just email support. But when you buy PCmatic and the VPN, you actually open yourself up for it's sort of what we call limited support, and it gives you access to the email help desk as well as phone service during specific hours. So this is a nice feature for those of you who wanted to use, to get the VPN. Now you can actually talk to somebody on the phone for all PCmatic related issues. So just to keep that in mind, it's just for PCmatic related issues, and it's just during specific specific hours, business hours, for that phone support. We do have another product, but with more unlimited hours and unlimited options. But that is not. No, just wanted to bring that to light, that is a different product altogether. And Corey, did you want to say any more on that?
Yeah, I think what it's really important to come back to on the support, Jeff, is we really have three tiers of support, and the basic support that comes with every license, whether it's the PCmatic antivirus or the VPN, that support is widely regarded as some of the best in the industry. And the method of communication back and forth between our customers and our support team is nearly all email, because it's simply the most efficient way to communicate back and forth, in addition to the knowledge base and articles and everything that's out there online that allows you to do some troubleshooting and learn some how to's on your own. So that's the basic support. You don't pay anything extra for that. What Jeff is really offering up here is, if you have the combination of PCmatic antivirus in addition to PCmatic VPN, you automatically get that elevated level of support where you have a phone number to call to actually speak to somebody on the phone who can address PCmatic related issues for you as well. So that's kind of that next step up in support. The top tier support we offer is something called Support Unlimited. This is kind of above and beyond. This will tackle both PCmatic related questions you might have on the phone. You'll be able to talk to somebody directly, but it goes beyond that. If you have questions about how to set up your smart TV, or how to configure your router to make sure it's set up right, or you have questions about your Wi-Fi network at home, or your smart fridge, whatever it might be, because any number of devices in your house are probably connected right now, the Support Unlimited team actually will be able to help troubleshoot and walk you through any questions you've got about connected devices like that. So again, if it sounds like something you might be interested in at the conclusion of the session, make sure to note that on your survey response that you'd like to learn more about Support Unlimited. Or at the very least, keep in mind, if you decide to add VPN to your current PCmatic antivirus as a combination, you will get that upgraded support with the phone team. So with that, Jeff, back to you. I think you muted Jeff.
There you go. You're right. So another way that I sort of broke this presentation down is to kind of go over what type of users that you want to be with your VPN. And for many of you are saying, well, I don't know what type of user I want to be. Um, the reason I'm giving this out is because there's many different ways to rig up the VPN to work for you. And it's going to go based on how you want to use it. If you're a very hands-on person and you'll want to set it up a different way. If you're sort of a set it and forget it, and you don't even want to know it's there, there's obviously a different way, for that. And if you're kind of in the middle, there's a different way for that as well. So I kind of want to go over those three different types of user, just to show you guys how to set it up and get it working for you in the way you want it. So if you are a person that would like complete control over everything that is happening with the program, then you would just basically want to install the software, and that's it. So every time with complete control, every single time you open the turn on your computer, you're going to have to turn on the VPN manually, and then you're going to have to select a connection. And you can either choose to just press the best available button, which is sort of up there at the top in the screenshot, the little white bar with the green circle power icon, or you can go right and look below at the servers, and you can handpick a specific server that you would like. And if you sort by load, the load is telling you how many people are currently on that server. So the lower the load, the better connection you'll probably have. Also, the further away the server, obviously I wouldn't say worse, but it'll be much quicker if you choose a server that is somewhat closer to you. So if you're looking for completely the speed, wanting to be protected, but you're more interested in internet speed, then you would want to get a smaller server load with the city closest to you on the server that you actually use. You're going to be prompted on whether or not you want to auto connect. You could just say no if you're one of those full control users, because once you turn on auto connect, it will try to connect to that same server each time you turn the VPN on. So as being a full control user, you probably would not want to do that. All right. So if you are sort of a casual oversight, which is the in between user, you would want to you'll want the program to run and work, sort of set it and forget it, but you still would like to have some sort of control as to what it's doing. You don't want it just doing whatever it wants to in the background. So what you would do is you would want it to automatically connect. So you would open the PCmatic VPN icon or program, click the little gear shaped icon, and then you would want to make sure that the application starts when the computer is on, and that it is hidden to the system tray. So I've marked the steps 1, 2, 3, 4 as I have them listed in the slides, and we'll have these slides available as well after the presentation, so you can kind of use these to set this up as you want. Number 3, that makes sure that you will automatically connect to a server, whatever the fastest server is, whenever you open the program. So you're telling the program to open up whenever you turn the computer on and connect to the fastest server. And then this one is dealer's choice. So you hide to tray. For those of you who don't know, the system tray is the bottom right hand corner of your computer. You'll see like the time and date, and there's typically a little white up arrow. When you click on that, it's going to reveal all the background applications that are currently running in the system tray. Clicking hide to tray is basically telling the VPN icon to hide itself in that little menu. If you want it to show dialog and ask, it's going to
Sorry about that, folks. It looks like Jeff froze up here, so you may see the slides advancing, but you won't necessarily hear Jeff. What we'll do here, I think Jeff will be logging back on and coming back to finish up the presentation. But at this point, if you have particular questions, I can try to knock as many of those out as possible, and go ahead and submit those through the icon again in your GoToWebinar console with the question mark. I know there's been a few that I've already addressed while Jeff has been speaking. There was a question from Joseph about, let's see here, some online banks will not allow me to use the VPN because I'm not identified. Are there any other options beside turning the VPN off in these instances? Joseph, in regard to that, there's a feature within our VPN called split tunneling, which allows you to identify particular sites where you would want the VPN to be turned off for, without turning off the VPN for all of your internet activity. So what we'll do is we'll get you some more information about how exactly to configure split tunneling. If you have access to our site and want to dig into the support side of things, you'll actually see some documentation that will take you through step by step how to configure split tunneling. But it's actually a very common occurrence with banking in particular. They want to be, they're obviously super sensitive to any financial type of transaction. They want to understand where those transactions are coming from. So they'll typically disable a lot of their online business unless you're identifying yourself with that IP address. I know there was a question from, let's see here, Dwayne, I'm sorry, it was Ronald had a question about how to find out what your IP address is. In the chat window, I actually included a link to, I think Jeff alluded to it in one of the slides. We actually have a tool built into the PCmatic website where if you visit that URL, and all you really have to do is click on it within that chat box there, that will take you directly to a page where your IP address will be displayed, and it will also show you any type of information it has about where you might be logging in from. Like Jeff said, it's usually going to be information related to your internet service provider and where that provider might be located. But this is a really good, easy way to understand what you're exposing yourself to as you surf the internet without a VPN. You're identifying yourself through this IP address, which again can lead to people even knowing exactly where you're logging in from. In some cases, your address, if they wanted to do enough digging. But as you surf the internet from site to site, all of these sites have visibility to what your IP address is. Through a virtual private network, it is masking what that IP address is. So if you want to think about it at a real basic level, like your license plate, this is like your license plate for your computer or your device as you're surfing the internet. And what you're doing is masking that personally specific information from whatever site you're visiting by using the VPN. And through doing that with the VPN, things like content filtering that might be limited by geography is no longer necessarily an issue. That opens you up to some content you might be able to view that you wouldn't be able to view otherwise. It would also impact your online shopping. We're all going to be doing some holiday shopping here sooner or later. Most of it is online these days. You may notice that without use of a VPN, in some cases, different online retailers will serve different offers and promotions and pricing based on where they recognize you're logging in from in the country. So again, if you want to open yourself up to some potential benefit of doing some shopping anonymously, you may see that you'll actually benefit from better pricing and sales and things like that. Take a look at any other questions we've got coming here. Let's see here. Kenneth, Postal Service tracking and hold mail inquiries will not work if you. There you go. So what Kenneth is suggesting here is if you try to do any type of you try to hold your mail with the United States Postal Service and make that request through their online portal, they won't do that if they detect a VPN. So again, this is a situation where you'd want to set up split tunneling so that you could make sure you've got a dedicated, you've got the Postal Service whitelisted as part of your VPN setup so that as you go to that site, the VPN won't be masking the information that the Postal Service needs to verify that you legitimately should be submitting that hold request. Ronald says he'll need more information about the split tunneling. We'll make sure to include that as part of the follow-up communication that you will get from us. If you have a particular question about a particular setup with split tunneling, in the survey that pops up here momentarily, go ahead and note that. We'll have a technician contact you and walk you through that one-on-one. If you have VPN and have PCMatic antivirus, that's a good opportunity to be able to call that phone number and talk to those people about split tunneling. They can help configure that as well. Looks like Jeff is back with us. Jeff, you back online here?
Yeah, I think I am.
Okay. Do you know where you left off? Can we pick back up
Yep,
with the
I
slides?
am. Yep, if you allow me to be presenter, we'll go right back to it
You got
since I
it.
have to ask you.
Let's do this. All right, it's back to you.
Bear with me one moment.
And again, we appreciate all the questions you're submitting. As Jeff wraps up with the slides, we'll come back around, try to pick up a few more of those questions. If you don't get an answer live here, that will be part of the follow-up communication with you here within 24 hours. We'll make sure to address those directly. All right, Jeff.
All right, all right. So the third archetype is going to be the set it and forget it. So this is the type of user that you want to go ahead and take the time to set it up, install it, set it up, and never think about it again. And just realize it's going to be doing exactly what you wanted it to do, and you don't have to worry about it. To get it set like that, you want to first set up everything just as you did in the previous archetype with the auto settings and automatic start and connection. Then you want to, if you look in the settings area, there's a couple tabs that you can see. You want to click the connection tab. And so you would want to turn on the kill switch. And kill switch, what that does essentially is if you're ever browsing for whatever reason and the application fails or stops, it's going to disconnect you from the internet so that you are not still browsing. So if you were to be, going online shopping and you're completely protected, if suddenly the VPN just stopped, then that website would then have access to every single thing that you were just trying to hide it from because the VPN would not be masking you any longer. So the kill switch says, well, it's basically like saying I do not want to be on the internet if I am not protected. So the minute the application fails or something happens, somebody accidentally turns it off, it's going to disconnect you from that browsing session so that your information stays secure until the VPN is turned back on and you can go right back to wherever you were at. Um, and then you want to go ahead and click on the local network interface when connected. That automatically is selected. The other three options down there are some additional security features we could read upon is disable the DNS leak protection, disable IPv6 leak protection, and threat protection. So these are just three little added security features to keep your information even more secure. So in a set it and forget it environment, you want to go ahead and just turn those on as well. And then the next thing you're going to be doing is setting up split tunneling. So what is split tunneling? It's when you're selecting different applications and websites that you are basically telling your VPN not to mask you from. So every time you go to a certain site, the VPN will not be masking your information from that site only. Every time you use a specific application, the VPN will not be masking your information from that application. So why would you need that? That sounds, kind of silly, but believe it or not, there are definitely banks and other websites which utilize geolocation as part of the security to verify you are who you say you are. So for your banks to keep you safe, they want to know, this person, why is this person from a completely different country accessing this customer who is based out of Florida? Why are they accessing this person's account? So without the ability to see the area that you're actually accessing the bank site from, they can't provide you with that protection. So which is that's one reason why you're going to find most financial websites are going to say, turn your VPN off first and then we'll start working. And a way to avoid having to constantly turn it back on and off is to just go ahead and set up split tunneling so that you don't have to worry about it. Um, so the first step is to find the specific website that is giving you problems with the VPN, and then you go right up there to the top and you'll highlight the complete web URL or web address, and so you highlight it and then copy it, and then you'll go over to the settings menu that we were just at. Those three tabs, you were just on the connection tab, so you want to click over to split tunneling tab, and down there at the bottom you will see where it says you have to enable it, you have to turn it on, and then after you've turned it on you'll have the option to either add applications or domains. Domain would be the website, so you'll click domains, and then you right down there in the little white bar you'll paste your the web URL that you just copied, and then you'll click add. That is it. That is that is about as difficult as it is. Once you have done that, every single time you navigate to that bank, that website, your VPN is going to turn itself off so that site can verify who you are. Um, so let's see. And that is it. So that in terms of set it and forget it, now you have an application that's going to start every time you turn the computer on. It's going to connect every time your computer is turned on, and anytime you are visiting a site or using an application that does not allow VPN, it's going to automatically disable itself for you. So you won't even know it's running. It's just going to be running, and it's going to keep you protected. And most importantly, if something ever happens to the application, it's going to say, nope, you cannot connect to the internet until this thing gets turned back on. So um, that is the set it and forget it archetype, and those are the three different types of users. It's up to you to decide which one you would want to be. It's all based on how you use your computer and how much control you like to have over the devices and programs you use. So that is all I have for this presentation. If there's any questions, I can go ahead and start answering some of the questions that you may have.
Yeah, we'll dive right into them, Jeff. We kind of discussed some split tunneling related questions while you were offline there, but it looks like Michael wants to drill down a little bit,
Mhm.
and maybe you had covered this. He says, I understand the purpose and the operation of split tunneling, but I'm having a problem determining the correct URL to use.
Okay.
Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, etc.
Okay. So typically the easiest way would be to navigate. So use the turn the VPN on like normal, and then navigate to the Bank of America website or Merrill Lynch website. And as soon as you get that pop out notice, that's the URL you want to copy. Um, if you are still continuing to have issues, you can go ahead and just do the basic, bankofamerica.com. That would go ahead and sort of like a blanket allow list. It would blanket anything with that domain, with that in the domain bankofamerica.com would be included. Um, and worst case scenario, if you're still having any kind of an issue, the best thing to do would be probably access that website or tell them, hey, tell them what you're doing. They know exactly what it is. Hey, I'm trying to split tunnel your domain with my VPN. What domain do I need to have listed in the split tunneling settings? Um, Another thing is to be sure. I know Merrill Lynch and other applications like that actually have computer applications, so you're not actually accessing it through the website. So um, if you're using an application, you can also um, split tunnel the entire use of the application itself, and that you would just go to the file location and then add that to the list as well. But if you have already gone through the rigmarole and you want a little bit more help, you can just go ahead and put in a ticket as soon as this presentation is over. If you do attention Jeff, I will go ahead and try to help you figure that out. Um, and that is, you can do help@pcmatic.com, send a direct email there, or you can go open your PCmatic program, either one, and click the little help icon, the little question mark icon in the bottom right corner, and that will also create a ticket. Or if you have VPN, or you have if you are a current VPN customer, which sounds like you are, you can always call the limited support number, and they'll be able to walk you through that as well.
And if you need access to that number, again, that's something that we can communicate with you through
Yes.
email and shoot it your way so you've got it. Jill would like to know, she says she, let's see, has her VPN running, but when I get the PC Matic email from you saying that what was scanned and cleaned, it tells me the VPN is not connected. I'm guessing
Right.
this is something we'd probably have to troubleshoot one-on-one with
Well,
Jill.
yeah. So we don't actually have to troubleshoot this one. This is a known issue with the email reporting system. Developers are on top of it, and we are going to be rolling out a fix for it very soon. So you could just disregard that. That is not a valid message. It's just simply a miscommunication between two different systems on our end, so you don't have to worry about it.
All right. Kenneth says, if the kill switch is on and the antivirus is doing a scan, does
Mm-hmm.
this cause a problem if there's a momentary VPN interruption, or is it a temporary halt to the scan?
It will not. So will the scan? Are you saying will the scan stop if the VPN turns itself off?
I think that's where he's going with this. And Kenneth, if you're still on and want to clarify that, feel free to throw that out there. But
Well,
saying,
yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
So the PCmatic scan has its own secure connection. So when it's gathering information or like definition, so it looks at a file and says, "Is this bad?" and it asks our server. That's a secure tunnel. Um, so there's no open connection. There's nothing that can be gleaned from or gained from that connection in terms of scammers. So it would continue to go because, like I said, the scan is already having its own secure little tunnel connection. So it's not the same as an open internet connection. I
All
hope
right.
that answered it.
Yeah, I think we're on the right path, it looks like, according to Kenneth. Dwayne would like to know, he says, when I set up my VPN the first time, um, when he set up his VPN the first time, he selected the quick connect,
Hmm.
but I found out I couldn't read my email or do some banking. So I selected a specific VPN in the US, which
Hmm.
allowed those connections. Now, when I start up my computer, it automatically connects to the original server, even though I have selected the option to use the last server. Is there a way to
Okay.
clear that out?
Yes, so. It looks like there's something cached on the device. We'd have to take a look at it. You'll open a ticket for that. We don't have a clear cache button in the application itself. Typically, that would be stored on whichever browser setting is used to open that application. Somebody at support should be able to easily tell you how to walk you through that. We'll just need a little bit of extra information. There are some log files that can be created with the VPN, and that'll tell us everything we need to know exactly where
Great,
that information's coming from.
great. If you've got other questions, I think we've got a few that we'll probably take offline and address individually. James would like to know, is there an easy way to understand if the VPN is working once it gets installed?
Oh, so yeah, if the VPN is working at the very beginning, like if you have not set any of the quick connect settings or set it and forget it settings that have just gone over, the only way to verify that it is working is to open it and then connect to a server. Um, you can change the settings to make sure that it'll automatically connect. But the easiest way also is to open up. If you have it to set automatically and you're like, well, is it on? You can go ahead and click the little tray icon button I was telling you about, the little white up arrow in the bottom right corner. And if you see the VPN application icon there, if you hover your mouse over it, it'll say connected or disconnected. If it's connected, obviously, if it's working, disconnected if it's not actively connected to a server. If you choose the kill switch setting, you'll know that you'll know that it's not working because the internet will not allow you to browse until the VPN gets turned on.
Got it. We've got time for probably one or two more if you want to submit those. A few that I'll just address. Jill, looks like Susan would like to know if the webinar is going to be available for replay. Yes, as part of the follow-up email you'll get, again, it's typically within 24 hours from us. It'll include a link to this as a full replay. It'll also give you a link to the archive of all the different town halls and webinars we've done over the past year. So if you'd like to sit in on a session that's more dedicated to PCmatic and the PCmatic antivirus product, those are all there. Our past VPN town halls are archived there as well, so you can watch those on demand. Let's see, looks like we've got another question. Jill's saying when she's on YouTube and listening to something, they have ads that are in a different language. Thought it was pretty funny, but you explained why it happens. I see that it changes my location a few times when I'm online, and that's exactly it.
Right.
Where you're actually located becomes invisible to that service you're accessing or that particular site you're surfing at that point. So that's exactly it. Let's see here. I think there was a particular. Oops. Looks like Joseph needs some more information on split tunneling. I think what we'll do as part of the follow-ups, because so many of the questions were split tunneling related, we'll make sure that we include a link to our knowledge base article that dives into the split tunneling and gives some really rock solid step by step. And I think it has screenshots and everything
Oh yeah,
else.
yeah.
So,
We actually just upgraded it today,
so
so good timing.
yeah, so we'll make a point of including that. But with that, we're coming up on the 45-minute kind of time limit we set today because we don't want to take up too much of your time. Um, as a reminder, immediately when you close down, go to webinar. You're going to get the survey that pops up. The first question is about what we can do to best help you today. So if there was a question you didn't get answered, if you want more information about actually purchasing the VPN, if you just want more information about the VPN, about the support unlimited upgrade options, all of those are options to indicate that you want us to connect with you about those possibilities. So please take a moment to fill out that portion of the survey. The second portion is just a wide open, open-ended question about other topics you would like to see addressed in future town hall webinars like this. Our plan is to continue to do these on a monthly basis, at least one dedicated to VPN. We'll have a separate one dedicated to the PCmatic product. It looks like we'll probably do a third in November, which is more dedicated to online shopping. We've got some folks that are great resources to us as an organization that are retired law enforcement, retired FBI, and beyond that are going to come on the air and talk about what they've seen historically in terms of online shopping and online scams that you should be aware of in particular, because a lot of us are doing a lot more online shopping than usual this time of year. So please take a moment to kind of fill out that survey and give us some feedback. Secondly, make sure that you are on the lookout within the next 24 hours for an email that we will send directly to the email address you registered for this town hall under. It'll have the link to the replay. It'll give you a link to more information about split tunneling and other VPN related topics. It'll also give you that link to the archive of all the past webinars and town halls as well. Jeff, any other words of wisdom before we sign off today here?
No, I think we got it.
Great. Well, I'd like to thank everybody for taking the time to join us here today. Thank you for your continued support of PCmatic and everything we're trying to do here in 25 plus years in business. We don't take it for granted that we wouldn't be who we are and where we are as a company without loyal supporters like yourselves that are joining us here today and have invested into PCmatic products. And we're invested into making those as easy to use and as effective as possible. And a lot of it is based on the dialogue and the back and forth like we're having here today. We want to make sure you've got all the information you need to make sure these products are doing exactly what you need them to do to protect yourself and protect your family. So we invite you to join us in November for a future webinar. We look forward to seeing you then and hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, guys. Have a good one.